entrepreneur. He used to be, and today he is volunteering his life to develop the SMEs all around Indonesia. Lipal and Suryono, the farmer, are ones of his the SMEs that he is helping to develop. We are here with SBM Pro Indonesia, where we have vision to develop the SMEs all around Indonesia, so that we can help to create a better economy in this area, and hopefully we will also be able to collaborate with the people in the region. And I will introduce you the former group director of Coca-Cola Indonesia, former CEO of Susu SDM PT Sari Busada and Danone Nutrition, and he is also has been nominated as the top 10 best business leader in Asia from CNBC America in 2007. So please welcome Mr. Budi, Satria, Isman.
Thank you. Morning, everybody. Morning. I think if it's good, I think whoever is behind there, if you can also join. I think there's still empty desks around here. If you like to move in front, it's much better. I think so that the other people who are coming late can join at the back. Just fill in front. Okay. I think the committee is trying to limit also my sharing sessions. It's probably around 45 minutes. So what I will do, the method is probably effective. So what we want to do is to try something different from what the government is doing. Try to do a more structured ways of developing these entrepreneurs, so that hopefully, of course, the results and the conversion rate is better than what the government is doing right now. Now, I'll show you, of course, at a later stage, what is the result, and hopefully that now the government is responding to our program, and 3 ministers right now is actually trying to use our program to develop also entrepreneurs in their area of accountability. So, what I said to the government is that just imagine these micro entrepreneurs where on average 1 or 2% is employed in their company or whatever it is, if they're self-employed. If they can move up from micro to small business, then if you look at the average employment in that small company is around 7. So there's a delta of 5, delta of 5, if you can move up these micro entrepreneurs to become small entrepreneurs. So there's 5 new jobs created just by doing that. Now if you have 1 million of these entrepreneurs can move up to become small entrepreneurs, that means you create already 5 million new jobs. While last year's data in Indonesia, the unemployment rate in Indonesia is around 5.9 to 6%, and the amount or the numbers of unemployment is around 6 to 6.5 million people. So already you have some solutions for your unemployment. While every year, students coming out from universities in Indonesia is almost around 2 million. Trying to find new jobs. So this is an issue where also in Indonesia we have this what we call the and then we also said to our entrepreneurs, because of entrepreneurs, they are small, they don't think like big corporations, they are sometimes hit by something they don't know. So there's other external factors that we said to them that you need to look so that you are not hit by a bus from behind. Because many times the entrepreneurs don't read maybe medias, don't look at the policy of the government, and someday the government changed the policy of the tax, for example. Just recently, our president just reduced the tax for SME by 0.5%. And when I ask my entrepreneurs, Do you know this? Oh, is there what? Yeah. Is that good for you? Oh, I don't know what. Because they're not aware of that. So there's other factors that you may not control, but you need to look at because this may impact you positively or negatively. So we teach also them to look at this. Because nowadays, any entrepreneurs, how small they already have this. So there's no such reason or excuses for them not to know. Because it's there. Every second, the president is reducing the tax. Boom, 1 second is already here. It's just that, do you know what to look for? So this is why we also teach them like that. So after that, that is the completion of the playing field actually. Okay? Now usually that is the biggest problem for the new entrepreneurs. Now if they have completed that playing field, then we go to the next module, which is the market landscape. Now here is more focused on how are you going to sell that product. So that's where we start. Why do people choose you? So the question is, yes, you have the solution already. You completed your playing field. But the question is, why do I choose your product? Why don't I choose other product? Why do I choose, why Amy Ong, are you Naraya? Why not Aqua? Because I used to work for Aqua, so I always ask when somebody is not using Aqua, why is it? Is it because the hotel? Yes, then I'll ask the hotel, why are they not using Aqua? Is it because of the price? Yeah, or maybe, I don't know, because of there's no products, no distributions. Yeah, but at least, why do people choose you? Because if you cannot define, if you cannot differentiate yourself between you and your competition, and then you're just commodity. And if you're a commodity, price is the game. Who's the lowest? That's the one they're going to buy. Okay? So, what we say is, you need to have your uniqueness. We're not telling our entrepreneurs an MBA program. We're not teaching them MBA program. Or what is USP or UVP? No. This is just a words that they need to know, but what they need to know is only what is the difference between your product or your businesses and your competition. So you have to have your uniqueness. So this is what we said also to them. For example, Garuda and Lion Air. I usually use this as an example. So totally different. Lion Air, what is the uniqueness? It's price. Low cost carrier, like Air Asia. We know Air Asia, right? Now in Indonesia, the largest one is Lion Air. Now in Malaysia, it's Malindo. Yeah, they have Malindo. They have it's one group. Okay. But the game is the uniqueness is cost efficiency. So the uniqueness is in the price. They don't care about services. I heard a lot of people, crying, screaming, oh, delay, every time, delay. I'm not going to go with Lion anymore, but tomorrow they go to Lion again. And then they slap this administration there, your Lion Air, delay. And then tomorrow they see the same person, oh, bapak lagi ya. Because maybe you are the target market. Because you are the one who are trying to find the lowest price. But Garuda is different. If Garuda is trying to lower its price, wow, I'm a Garuda man. I won't go with Garuda anymore. Garuda focuses on quality and services. The price is high, but the focus on quality. So what they do is they improve every time the services. People don't mind to pay 2-3 times Lion Air. But Lion Air needs to be focused on cost efficiency. That's why sometimes I feel so guilty also going with Lion. Every time they land, I don't know how thick is their wheels, before they change to the new one. Maybe so thin, blast? Hopefully not, because the government should have the minimum, of course, standard of safety. But this is a case of differentiation. I give extreme examples because so that entrepreneurs can understand the concept. It's not about the theory that you need to learn about MBAs and no, it's about the concept so they understand they need to have differentiation. Positioning also, they don't know what positioning is. But what I said to them then, here's the concept. If you look at Ferrari, what do you think? And they said speed. Oh, fantastic. Even though you don't own a Ferrari. But they know. Ferrari, speed. What about 4-4? Oh, 4-4, ugly, but ugly. Ugly design, but safety. Oh, okay. Ugly design, but safety. Ferrari, speed. What about Mercedes? Mercedes, old guys, luxurious, rich, and likes to be driven with chauffeur. BMW, younger, likes to drive. So, even though they don't own the car, how can they know? Because this positioning is already been communicated years and years every time, because that's what they want to be positioned as in the mind of the consumers. So I said to my entrepreneurs, you someday need to also have that, so that people know you. Who are you actually? That's positioning. Like me, I said, personal branding is also positioning yourself. Who are you? So that's why everywhere, if you look at my style, actually this is not my style actually. Because I'm not sure what to wear actually here. So if I wear suit, maybe it's not too appropriate. So the safest way in Indonesia is with batik. Yeah? You can go everywhere. But this is not my style, this is not my brand. But at least I have a trademark, which is my red watch. So even if I'm being photographed and cut my head and see my hand, and they will see, that's Pak Budi Isman. Because they know the watch is red. That is personal branding. But that is also how you do also your business. So we use very basic extreme examples to entrepreneurs. But we teach them how to think big, but how to execute small. So this is the way also what we think. So after that, okay, if you have that, how do you sell your product? How do you distribute? But then you need to know, of course, your pricing. So what is the factors that will influence your price? So we tell them also like that. The selling journey, you need to build awareness, for example, before they will try. If they don't try, they will not buy. And if they don't buy, they will not repeat. Before, I said 10 years ago, you will not be able to compete big corporations. But nowadays, small corporations right now is really hurting big corporations. Nowadays. Because why? Because before 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if you want to build awareness quick, how do you do? TVC, TV ad. Yes, they cannot do that for small entrepreneurs. But nowadays, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, very effective. Almost zero cost. Almost zero cost. And if you can build that, and to build awareness, without all the very, very small cost, then you actually can compete with big corporations. It's just the same. And it's actually much better now. Because in TVC, you pay $1 million, $2 million. Whoever watches TV, that is the one that is being communicated to. But with Facebook ad, Instagram ad, you can target your market. You can define which cities, the age, the hobbies, and everything with just small amount of money. This is why this is the time for the small medium enterprise to really do well. Where there's no leverage before in technology and everything else, but now this is it. This is the time, right? So we also said, okay, offline that's fine, but online you must. So we told our team also, even if you have offline, you need to go online. Okay? You need to go online. So they need also. How do you keep your customers? Yeah, of course, we also teach them that. Okay? I'll go fast because I need to have more probably time for Q&A. So after that, then we teach them how do you operate your business in terms of revenue, costs, and things like that. So basically, it's a very simple, I said, what do you call this, method. Yeah. Business is so simple, I said, you only need to know two things, revenue and cost. If you know that, and you know to do math a little bit, you can do business. You don't need an MBA or things like that, I think. Yeah? So, how do we make profit? Revenue minus cost. If you want to increase profit, you increase your revenue, you reduce your cost. It's that simple. Okay? But how do you do that actually? So when you talk about revenue, actually what we say to them that there's only two things that makes up revenue. It's your volume and your price. You increase your price, you still can make more revenue with the same volume. But if you increase your price, there's a big risk for you to reduce the volume because people don't like increased price. So what we tell them, first you need to look at your volume. Every time you want to push your revenue, push first your volume. The latest one, if you really need it, then the price. So that is the simple method that we said to them. How do you get your volume? It's vertical and horizontal. This is what we said to them. Look for more customers, that means horizontal. So you can sell more volume. One customer buy more, that is vertical sales. That means you can still get more volume, but with only one customer. But there's a biggest difference between vertical and horizontal. Horizontal is the fundamental of your business because the more customers that you have, your foundation is strong. But you need to build your vertical, of course, because that is the cheapest acquisition cost. Horizontally, your cost of acquisition of customers is higher, but when you have your customers already, you build your vertical business, that is cheaper. So this is the way also we teach them. We teach them how to manage their costs. The way that we said that, you have to understand your costs, yeah? Because so many of my entrepreneurs don't even understand their cost of goods. They don't understand. They don't even count themselves as a cost. They said, oh, but Budi, I don't count myself. Why? Because there's no cost for me. Yeah, but then if you hire somebody to replace you, is there going to be cost? Yes. So, oh, that means I need to pay myself? You don't need to pay yourself, but you need to include that cost into your cost of product or services. That's for example. Yeah? So sometimes they don't really understand the cost structures. And that makes it difficult to put a real good price structures. I've seen my entrepreneurs who the business is flying very high because their price is so low. But then at one stage, they're out of cash because they don't understand their margin. They thought they're making money, but they're not. But their volume, fantastic because it's very, very cheap. So this is understanding the cost, understanding about fixed cost and variable. I've told also all entrepreneurs that in our program, find ways to have 100% variable cost, if you can. Of course, it's very difficult, but it's about the concept. If you can shift your fixed cost to become variable cost, you have less risk. So whatever it is, so for example, you don't need to have a fixed salesman. Don't pay them fixed salary. Pay them only by commission. Like maybe insurance company, 100% commission, no salaries, right? So that's an example. Instead of buying cars, why don't you rent cars? For example, that is variable cost. Yeah? So you can have more cash flow maybe to build your production, for example. So we also teach them how to do that. We teach them also how to manage cash flow, because cash flow is number 3 killer. Remember the statistic? Yeah. So we only said to them the only very basic concept. Cash flow is money coming in as much as possible, as quick as possible. Money coming out as small as possible. It's possible there's no money coming out, going out, and as long as possible. You see? How do you do that one? My supplier, when I was in Batam, my number 1 supplier is Fonterra. I used only to have accounts payable age top of terms of payment of only 1 month, 30 days. I said, no way. I need 90 days. So we negotiated 1 year for that 90 days. But because I have 90 days, because 80% of my raw materials is from them, and that's around $500 billion US a year. My accounts payable there. And my accounts receivable is only 1 month from my distributors. So I spare 2 months. So basically my business is being paid by my suppliers. Almost zero working capital, for example. So we need to teach them also how to do that. Okay? Your core resources, I said that. Okay, what is your core resources? If you are a consultant or a coach, maybe people is your core resources. If I'm a milk company, maybe milk is my core resources. But at the end of the day, whatever is your core resources, you need to focus on how to manage them. What do you need to manage? Is about the quantity, is enough for you, the quality is good, the cost is right, and the terms of payment. Those 4 that we need to look at. And then of course, last one is about people business. So you need to develop your business, but you also need to develop your team to do that. Whatever your business is, we are in people business. This is what I said to my team also. So my last part is about a case study. So I'll show you a little bit. Yes, this is a little bit more of a success story. There's a lot of failure story. Yeah, more.
We will have 1 or 2 questions
Okay.
about the movement. So if anyone wants to ask or share with Mr. Budi Isman right now, yeah. 1 or 2 question.
1 or 2?
2 questions.
2, okay. Just make sure.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
Okay, yes.
2, okay.
One from here.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm still from Love and Transformation Center. One question I want to ask: if you wanted to expand our business to Indonesia or even Batam, what are the things that we require to come here?
Okay. All right. You mean that expand in terms of the program or your institution?
Yeah, because I do social enterprise, I do training, so I want to be able to do in Batam as well programs. So what are the requirements?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The easiest way is to find a joint venture or corporations, yeah, like with Elmi's Matahati maybe, or with SBM Pro Indonesia. I don't know if it fits or not. You have to find fitness of who your partner in Indonesia. There's a lot. That's the best way to go in first. And if you think that you want to be bigger, then you can also apply for an entity to be filed in Indonesia as a formal entity. Yeah, but I think my advice is find partners first, start there, and then go after that. All right? Okay.
Okay, second question, last question.
Yeah,
Okay,
this one.
good.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Satria from Dairy Plot or Delicious Pineapple Subang West Java. We produce bakery from pineapple as main ingredients. Last week, there are several persons from Ministry of SME comes to our production house. According to your experience, will the people from the Ministry of SME will be give us, for example, some funding because they ask what is your problem, and I said that currently our market is growing very fast, but we still don't have appropriate production house. Our production house is still very small, so it is not easy to increase the production capacity. According to your experience, will the ministry in reality give us funding or just talking? And secondly, how to get the funding easily from your experience? Is it from a bank or from investor? Thank you.
Okay, good question. Two questions. Just quick. If you ask me, do I think that the Ministry of SME will give you funding? I don't know, because I'm not them. But let me give you an advice. If they are willing to give you something, usually they will give you not the money, but maybe tools or maybe machineries or things like that. Usually it's like that, okay? Because they have other institutions to do funding, like FPDB, okay? But my case also, even if you don't have that, why worry? You have the market. If you're growing so fast, this is why sometimes people will look at you. So what you need to do is you have to prepare yourself. Yeah, you have to look very good. You have to be professionals. Put a small business plan. Put a plan and your plan to expand, for example, and the capitals that you needed. If you have that, I can either help you also to connect, but I can also tell other people to connect with you. Now maybe, there's two things. If you go to bank, it's a loan. Many of my entrepreneurs don't understand the difference between loan and equity. They thought loan and equity is still the same. And the funny thing is, some of bad investors, because they know my entrepreneurs don't know, so they use that to their advantage. And they said, give me a share. I give you my money. But then they have the share, but then they also need to pay them every month. And they say, oh yeah, after that you need also to pay every month. But that's why I said these investors is trying to use this as that because the knowledge is not there. So my question is, there's a difference for loan. Usually I will go for loan if it's for working capital, not for investment. If you buy a machine, find equity. But if you need money to buy raw materials, to do for the working capital, that you can do, right? But if you have a long-term investment, it's better to have equity, so investors come in. Because there's a pressure for you if you go to loan to pay every month. While equity, you don't need to pay every month. So for a longer investment, I suggest you go and find equity. But for working capital, you can maybe use your bank. But if you get equity for both, that's fine too. And if you are so good, I said, if you're so good, many of my businesses, who we develop, if they're good, people will come to me, Budi. Yesterday, I just came from Surabaya. And one of the biggest company in Indonesia, one of the richest person in Indonesia, contact me. I don't even know him. I know his family. So his family contact me, Budi, this person wants to meet with you. So I went there. So just for networking, that's fine. So I went to this building, so rich, one of the richest men in Indonesia. So he said, I don't know you. I said, why do you want me to come here? He said to me, oh, I heard about you. I heard about your program. And these are my 3 kids who wanted business. So number 1, can you find business for my kids? And they want to find food business. So is there any of your entrepreneurs who are in food business who needs capital? And we can invest and grow together. And what is the limit of your investment? No limit. 100 million US dollars, okay too. 1 million, okay too. 50,000, okay too. It's up to you. I just came back. So I'm going to find food businesses where they can probably invest also. So this is the example. Okay? Alright, thank you. Oh, one more. Last one, yeah? Last one.
Thank you.
Last one because it's good time.
Assalamualaikum and
Yeah.
good morning Pak Budi.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. First thing I just want to say thank you for your sharing. It's very enlightening. And being a business owner and also from corporate side is good to see that people getting together to help. Okay, my question is very simple. Is there a possibility for people, I'm from Singapore basically, and people from out of Indonesia to be part of your groups to learn? This is my first question. Second, is there a possibility for us to use, do you have any materials that you can share with us as a business owner? Thank you.
Okay, good, fantastic. All right. Yes, the answer is simple. Yes, anybody from everywhere can be part of ours. We are not a community, we're just a movement. So there's no basis of this and that, So whoever has the same vision of us wanting to move forward, if they're at SME, yes. Even we can maybe have somebody in Singapore, be our representative, do something similar in Malaysia or in Vietnam. I don't really care actually, as long as the vision is the same, you name it, whatever you name it, you don't have to name it as SBM Pro Indonesia, but we can have the same methodology if you think it's proven there, and we can try. And number two is, of course, you want to materials. That is copyright. It's copyright. But if you really want to, you can come to actually one of our program. If you want to try it, try to look, and you become the what I call usually a special guest. Because we usually do it in Indonesian language. Hopefully you can still understand a little bit. The Malay Indonesian. You sit there as our special guest, look at it, and then see how does it fit. Then maybe we can share some of the materials with some agreement with it. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining Satria, Isman. Yeah, very impressive.